What's up, YouTube? This is Bar911970. Thank you for watching my video. Alright, guys, I wanted to do a quick little video response to Cory C. And don't worry, this isn't going to be any fights or anything like that, because at this point, like I said, I'm really not at that level anymore. Um, I could say, the one thing I want to say, Cory, is I appreciate you watching your video and the time that you take to find old videos of mine where I said things a year, 2 years ago. That has to take a lot of time to go through all my videos that you saved. But I understand what you're saying in the sense that we're all trapped in this system. So, yes, I am a DJ, and yes, I am a massage therapist, and in my business, I do take credit cards. Unfortunately, that's part of the system. Now, credit cards are not the problem. In a society where you have the convenience, it is a beneficial thing when it started. The problem is it's the corrupt people behind it and what they're doing with it that takes a good idea and makes it evil. It's, for example, how many inventions have been created in life that started out with good intentions and then corrupt people took it and turned it into something like a destructive weapon. So I understand what you're saying. And first of all, me working in bars, most people don't pay by credit card, they pay by cash. But I understand what you're saying. But if we're going to try and I understand what you're trying to do, I want you to tell everybody how you made your money. I mean, did you have some different way that didn't include yourself in the system? So, when we point fingers, remember, there's three fingers pointing back at you. So I understand where you're coming from, and in a sense, we're all hypocrites. But here's the thing. Once we start knowing about these things, it's our responsibility to try and get ourselves out of the system. And one of the things I have started doing is I took all my money out of the banks and went into a federal credit union. And the clip that you showed where I had the shaved head and no hair on my face, that was about a year and a half to 2 years ago. I was not as awake as I am now with the information that I've been almost researching on a daily basis. So for you to bring back something I said years ago is not really keeping it in proper perspective and making fun of some of the things that I said because, when I make a video, I don't plan things out. I don't write things down. I don't even know what I'm going to talk about until I say it. So sometimes, as I'm doing my videos that are coming out of thin air when I speak, sometimes I'll stumble across a word. So forgive me if I didn't sound perfect, but, I have to say, Cory, for a person that I trusted as a friend, and talked to several times on the phone and thought you were somebody that was a decent human being, you can be very critical and judgmental of other people. And I think that's a shame. And since we're on the corrective kind of thing, you were talking about how you're, and I'm going to quote, a selfish motherfucker. Well, right before you said that, you said you're not going to watch the Super Bowl, and you're actually going to go out and walk with your family because you care about your family. Well, that's not the definition of selfish. Selfish would mean you would leave your family in the house and you would go out for a walk because that's what you want. But it shows you aren't selfish because instead of staying at home watching a football game, you're spending the day outside with your family. So in an essence, you're actually turning your back against the system. That's the kind of thing we all need to do. So I'm not going to be here, you know, making nasty things. I'm not going to bring up any old videos because I never saved any of your videos because I have no desire to. I have no problem with you, but for some reason, you tend to single me out more than anybody else. Now, I know you'll make fun of Raw Dog and everything, but you do it playfully. With me, there's a whole nother agenda on it. So whatever problems you have with me, that's your thing. I don't have a problem with it. I'm not the person I used to be when I took it to heart like I used to, even a couple of months ago. I don't want to be that person anymore. So that's why you see me right now talking to you in a different way than I ever did before. Not screaming, not yelling, not getting aggravated or stressed out. And when I talk about things like we should really focus on these things. And you say that, I don't make a dent in the system. You're probably right about that. But should that mean that because we don't make a dent, we shouldn't do anything? Well, If you have a castle and you have a tribe trying to get into that castle, well, if they throw a boulder at it, it'll probably make only a dent because the walls are very heavily fortified. So they will withhold that and withstand it. So if you throw one stone, it makes a dent. Do you just give up and say, oh, well, we couldn't make it? No, what you do is you keep bombarding it, get more people to throw more stones until eventually the wall caves in and you've now entered the castle. So that's the point of why I do these things, and I choose to do them, and I do them with pride, knowing that I may only make a little dent, if that. But if more and more people join into this and they add their little bit of a dent, eventually you can break through. So I'm not here to be the savior of the world. I'm not here suggesting that what I say will change the world. But if I change one person, and they in turn change one person, it can create a beneficial situation somewhere along the line. I don't want to be one of those people that says, well, I can't make a major impact, so I'm not going to do anything. I choose to do this, and I choose to do it proudly. Because just imagine if our forefathers decided to be that same way and say, well, we're just a bunch of rebels creating a militia against the most, at the time, the country England, who would take over any other country. They had finances that could buy things that no other countries could, so they overwhelmed Europe. They were the strongest military in the world at the time. So just imagine if our forefathers said, well, why bother? We're outnumbered, we're outgunned, we're outmanned. Good thing they didn't. So, Cory, I know you long enough to know the purpose of that video. It's not because you care about my well-being and you're worried about how things are going with me. Now, when we talk on the phone, that's how you are. But on your videos, I guess you have an image that you want to maintain. And you don't want people to know that we actually, when we do communicate, you're actually a good guy, a friendly guy, and actually come off very caring. Like when you texted me, the last time you texted me, you said you were glad that I was making videos. Is that facetious? I mean, I am never going to be a perfect person. I don't claim it. But I'm bettering myself. I'm learning. I'm actually getting to the point where I'm starting to read books. As a matter of fact, when my wife is done reading her book, I'm going to start reading it. It's the one with Jesse Ventura about all the information that he got, his latest book about all the documents, the government documents. And it'll probably be the first book I've read since I was probably 12. So, we can all decide to stay a specific way for the rest of our lives, or we can all try and grow and better ourselves. And I'm trying to get out of a system. But until we can find something where there isn't corrupt people ruining what could be good ideas, things are never going to change. And if people want to sit there and say, well, we shouldn't do anything because we can't do anything, well, then it never will change. I would rather try and fail than to never try. And towards the end of my life, when I watch all the destruction and all the things going on, sit there and say, God, what if I would have done something? What if I would have said something? What if I would have been a part and joined in? So if I'm sacrificing some happiness to do what's right, then I'm fine with that. It's my decision. It's nobody else's. So you can judge me and other people can judge me all they want, because it's very easy to judge other people. Like you said in your video, you focused on the fact that I work in bars. And you're right, because we all have to make a living. And anybody out there, if they have another way, I would love to know. So it's not the credit cards that's the problem. It's not the money system that's the problem. It's the people behind it. We get rid of them and try and have an honest system, which is not impossible. However improbable, it's not impossible. But if we don't try, then why should we all complain about it? So, unless, Cory, and I understand where you're coming from, unless you got your money from some miracle that had nothing to do with the government or credit cards or cash, I would love to hear your suggestion. So if you want to just single me out because it's easy, because I'm an easy target, then by all means continue to do so. I'm not going to accept the video because I no longer want negativity on my channel. So you made that video, go with it. Keep doing them if you want. If this is what you do, then that's fine. I am not going to be to that level. And if you ever want to communicate the way you do on the phone and the way you text me on your videos, we can always have a discussion. But don't be a hypocrite. Don't just single me out. And don't tell me about how I've tried to earn my living unless you did it in a way that's different. So if you're buying your food for your family with that money, and if you ever used a credit card to pay a bill, and how you got all your money, which allows you to stay home with your family all the time, if you didn't do it in the system that we all do, please let us know so we can be educated in a way to get out of the corrupt system. But I think it's disappointing that you single me out and try and make it like I'm the only person in the world. Doesn't make it right. I understand that. But we have to find a better way. And I'm trying to do that one little bit at a time. So yes, I remember the whole Iran-Contra situation. I know it's corrupt. But you know, it's not until you educate yourself and see all the things that you may not have noticed is when you realize how bad it really is and what's really going behind it. So I want to thank you for that video, and I hope most people will see how I'm responding to this video. It's probably different than you've ever seen, because I did in the past overreact. I don't want to be that person anymore. So if you were trying to get a rise out of me, it didn't work. I hope we can all work together instead of being enemies and pointing fingers. You know, that's why there's no unity. So if you guys want unity, I'm here. And if I help one or two people, I'm here. If I'm here for entertainment for others, I'm here. If I'm here because some people are waiting for me to post a video so 30 seconds later they can thumb it down, then I'm here for you guys too. I do this for me. If it helps anybody else, it's a bonus. So I don't know what else to say. I have nothing to prove to anybody. And Corey, sometimes maybe you just got to look in the mirror and see for yourself how you are. You point a lot of fingers at people. I don't see you taking responsibility for it. And that's okay. I'm not here to judge you. You do what you have to do for your family. But you're definitely not selfish, at least when it comes to your family. So hopefully you'll treat your friends a little bit better, because at one time I considered you a friend. I'm not so sure I could say that anymore. But that's all right. I don't have any problems with you, and I never will. If you want to call me anytime, if you want to text me like you do, you will always be welcome. But you know what? I hope one day you change your ideal of how you talk about people like me and try and single me out. And you do videos about me different than anybody else's. All the others are joking around, all in good fun. With mine, there's a deeper level to it, and I can see right through it. So if that's what you want to do, I'm not going to stop you. Have a great time. Just don't send me a video response like that thinking I'm going to accept it. I just don't want negativity on my channel anymore. To everybody else, don't worry. I'm doing this for me. It's not changing my ideals. I just feel like I'm one of those people who's not afraid to speak about things. So I hope everybody has a great time watching the Super Bowl. If that's what they choose to do, I'm going to go do my sun gazing, which most people make fun of because they don't want to research it and see it actually works better. And I'm going to enjoy my day with my wife, looking out at nature. So let's hope all the people that are talking about what's going on for the sinkhole in Louisiana, let's hope we're all wrong. But we should never be afraid to speak, because then we really are controlled. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.